Good morning, everyone. We will call our meeting to order at this time. Could the Secretary Treasurer do roll call, please?
Susan Cochran,
Here.
Jerry Tosclaw, here. Harry Bigelow,
Here.
Jonathan Poway,
Here.
Clyde Narcomi.
Here.
10:07, and we have a quorum.
10:07.
Could I get Mr. Norman Nonai to pray for us this morning, please?
Most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for another day that you've given to us. We just pray that you'll continue to bless us throughout this day, provide for our every need, watch our family wherever they are, just continue to be with them, keep them safe from all harm. Heavenly Father, just be with us here in this meeting as we discuss our business, and that it may be good for our people. And all these things we ask in your name. Amen.
Thank you. If everyone's had an opportunity to look over the minutes.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think the agenda amend the agenda right after, I'd like to come right after our resolutions on grant for development, the last resolution.
Okay, what are you wanting to put in there?
Huh?
What do you want to put in there?
A youth music trip.
Okay. Youth music trip, right after that last resolution.
Oh, executive?
No, after the last resolution here,
All right.
under resolutions, that last one.
Music trip?
Youth music trip. You want to make a motion to amend the agenda?
Vacation.
I second it.
Okay. Motion made by Mr. Narcomi to amend the agenda to include youth music trip, seconded by Mr. Poway. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. We'll amend the agenda. Can I have anyone make a motion to accept the minutes, please? If you've had a chance to look them over.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
Motion has been made to accept the minutes from May
May 14th.
by Mr. Mithalo, seconded by Mr. Narcomi. All those in favor of accepting the minutes, May minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Who's on?
Very good.
We'll go into the resolutions at this time.
Madam Vice Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to make another amendment to the agenda. I would like to add, right after the youth music trip, resolution authorizing funding for the Comanche Nation Tax Commission.
Executive session.
I'd like to change that to
Executive.
executive session.
Right, okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll look at Resolution 5916, adopting special procedures for the 2016 general election and runoff elections. All of you got a copy of this yesterday.
Approve resolution 60-16.
No, it's 59. 5916. Yeah, that's the one I gave y'all yesterday. She just doesn't have it listed. It was, got it, I gave it to you early, so you could
All right.
review it. Yes.
We need a motion.
Harry made a motion.
No, mine was for another resolution that we're going to have an executive session. This is for resolution number 5916.
Right. This is
Yeah.
to deal with the adopting the procedures for the general and runoff elections. Did you want to make your motion, Harry?
I thought you would read it for the audience to hear what the motion is. I mean, what the resolution is.
Oh, well, we can, it's a long one. Okay. There's been a few changes made. We'll still do the e-poll book voting as has been done in the past. It's where you sign that little signature card thing. We'll have to amend the resolution since we're taking out one portion of it. The Comanche Business Committee, as a consequence, deems it advisable to renumber sections 404, 405, 406, 407, and 408 to sections 403, 404, 405, 406, and 407 respectively. And that's because we removed a portion of it, of the ordinance. Under Section 502 of the election ordinance requesting absentee ballots by mail, it's hereby amended to read, the Comanche Nation members who are on the authorized voters list may fill out an official request for an absentee ballot. An official absentee ballot request must be received by the election board and/or third-party election service acting on their behalf no sooner than 30 calendar days, no later than 14 calendar days before an election. Under that Section 502, official absentee request forms will be included in all election notices and shall include a barcode for cross-referencing with an official absentee ballot, including signature verification notary public forms for both validation and recount purposes. And upon requesting an official request for an absentee ballot, the Comanche Nation Election Board and/or third-party election service acting on their behalf will issue an absentee voter packet via the United States Postal Service. This packet will consist of the following: an official election ballot, a signature verification form, which is located on the back of the envelope, which must be filled out and signed by the absentee voter, otherwise the ballot will not be counted. And the envelope under the signature verification form shall include a standard United States Postal USP notice regarding forgeries and mail fraud, and an envelope marked official ballot in which the election ballot must be inserted and sealed after the voter has marked his or her vote. Now, under Section 504, early ballot voting in person is hereby amended to read, enrolled Comanche Nation members who are eligible to vote can do so in person, voting at the Comanche Nation Complex and the Elder Center located at 1107 Southwest H Avenue, Lawton, Oklahoma. Hours for early in-person voting at the Comanche Nation Complex and Elder Center will be from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Thursday early voting will be at the Elder Center only, and the Comanche Complex Friday prior to the current election. Persons wishing to vote early in person at the Comanche Nation Complex or Elder Center must present his or her photo ID and sign the e-book before they are allowed to cast their ballot. The voter will then be issued an official in-person ballot that must be inserted into an electronic voting machine after the voter marks the ballot. Ballots cast in this manner shall be retained securely by the official election company in charge of the election process. And whereas Section 707, official election results, is hereby amended to read, Section 707, the recount process. The following process will be used during a recount. The election board shall conduct the recount in open session via video and audio recording. Each candidate in that specific election that is the subject of the recount has the option to appoint an individual to monitor the recount on that candidate's behalf. All ballots of any recount shall be retained in the same manner as all other ballots. And whereas the Comanche Business Committee, as a consequence, renumber Section 707 to Section 708, as Section 707 existed prior to this amendment hearing. Now therefore be resolved that the above-listed election ordinance procedures for all general and runoff elections are adopted, promulgated, and the law governing the Comanche Nation Election Board and the conduct of the elections of the Comanche Nation shall be effective immediately upon adoption.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 59-16.
Motion has been made to accept Resolution 59-16. Do we have a second? Second made by Mr. Clyde Narcomi. All those in favor accepting Resolution 59-16, say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Resolution 59-16 has been approved. Now we're looking at Resolution 60-16. Now, there was some confusion before about whether or not the elders could be poll monitors. And this resolution will rectify any confusion about the elders being allowed to be poll monitors. So this allows you to be able to go into the elections and be part of it. So there's nothing that's changed on that.
In other words, the elders won't get removed from the polling sites.
Right, right. There won't be any more issues about it like there was this last time.
Got a question?
I had the 05 minutes when that was passed for the monitors for the council. I'm sure it's kind of difficult to read through, but it wasn't signed, but it's the 05 minutes. So you got a council, I'm sure. See, it reads where Rita Barnhart made the motion to have elder monitors, and then Norman Noni seconded it. I mean, no, he wanted it amended to include election of board members, nomination. And then later on, towards the back, well, it was had a voice voter, and then it was passed. You can ask Mr. Noni, he was here. See, that's what I said. A lot of our secretary treasurers in the past, and even now, they don't keep track of our resolutions. We're still waiting on that.
This isn't a resolution.
Yeah.
This is not a resolution.
Resolution for Jake Sharp when he was banned.
This is not a resolution.
He might have brought it today.
This is not a resolution.
Okay,
This is not a resolution.
this is,
Well, you're talking,
this
not
is
me.
for a resolution. I'll read it.
Yeah.
Whereas the Comanche Business Committee deems it advisable to adopt the following stipulations regarding poll watchers monitors. The Elders Council is authorized to place poll watchers monitors in all polling sites. All poll watchers monitors must be eligible Comanche voters. It shall not be necessary to have a designated poll watcher monitor at any polling site in order to have an election. There may be no more than 2 poll watcher monitors per polling site. The election board shall not compensate a poll watcher monitor for his or her poll watching activities. A candidate or any member of his or her immediate family is not eligible to be a poll watcher monitor. A poll watcher monitor may only observe and may not interfere in any way with the conduct of an election. Any poll watcher monitor interfering with an election or attempting to influence voters in any manner shall be ordered to leave the polling area by the election board chairman or law enforcement. During the counting tabulation process, designated poll watchers monitors may view but not disturb the process. No poll watcher monitor shall be allowed to use any communication device or to communicate with the election board members during counting, tabulating process. A poll watcher monitor must remain in their designated area. Now therefore be resolved that the above listed stipulations for poll watchers monitors are adopted and promulgated as the law governing the Comanche Nation Election Board and the conduct of the elections of the Comanche Nation, and shall be effective immediately upon adoption.
I make a motion to accept resolution number 6016.
We've got a question.
66.
If the poll watchers are remain in their designated area, how can they check the counter on the monitor when there's an incident? Usually you'll go past and make sure that it didn't count more than one.
I don't think that would apply. They're just asking you not to interfere with voting and stuff. That's all it says. It doesn't say you can't walk by the machine.
I monitored here several times, and they say that we're in violation already because we're supposed to be 25, I was told last year, 30 feet away from the voters, which puts us way over here. The booths here, we can't even see who's coming in and out of the back door or what they have. But if we get up and go to the ladies' room, and we walk by the box to check the count, but there's going to be a problem.
Well, it doesn't say anything about that here, so I don't think.
It says, on number 9, it says a poll watcher monitor must remain in their designated area.
It doesn't say they can't get up and go to the bathroom and walk by the machine.
But they would probably be asked to leave if they did that,
Well, some of them at cash.
I would think.
They're way across the gym floor, but when they bring the boxes and everything in, they invite us to come and watch the process, you know, setting it up and everything. Then we look at the number, make sure it's a 0. At the end of the day,
Yes, that's what it's supposed to be.
we go up there and we watch them put everything in there and make sure that they pull that plastic tie on there so it's locked. But I know, last year at Inidarko, they didn't do that pull tie, and I was kind of worried about that, but I didn't say nothing. After the police took it to the car, I thought, well, it's safe, you know, we only had about 9 or 10 voters up there anyway.
Right.
So, but yeah, there's little things that we keep track of, and if the election people are gonna be really picky, they will pick on them. But nobody, I think a couple of people might have complained about us, but we're doing what we're supposed, we're real respectful to the people. When they vote and they're leaving, they'll say, hey, how are you doing? And we'll just greet them too, and they leave. And that's how it is. We shouldn't have to sit like little soldiers, and we're pretty good at doing what we do.
Okay. Mr. Nona?
Yeah, I would just want to address the issue since you're talking about amending the election procedure. On this past election, this recent election, I was wanting to make a protest. And so I called Bonnie, I think her name was, and she said, I told her what I wanted to protest, so forth. She said, well, Mr. Nona, you're not a candidate, are you? I said, no. I said, I'm not. I said, I just have an issue with the election process. And she said, well, unless you're a candidate, you can't protest. So the issue is here, I think anyone ought to be allowed to protest if they see a violation. The other thing, it don't make any sense if the elders are going to monitor And if they see any violations and they're not a candidate according to the ordinance that's before you, they're not gonna be able to do anything anyway, so it's gonna be redundant. So I feel like that needs to be addressed when we go into the executive session, because it's not fair, you know. All tribal members ought to be able to file a protest. I also too, I really don't understand why the $1,000 protest fee. I understand there's people that have to come back and make decisions based on the protest. But I think the $1,000 is a little steep as far as I'm concerned. Thank you.
Probably answered that question.
We'll talk to him in executive session.
Okay. Well, it won't affect this
Did
resolution
we get a second?
if we pass it.
In reference to what?
Well, what Norman is saying.
That has to do with the ordinance we've already passed.
Okay.
We already passed it. You should have stood up before then. Yes, Mr. Burgess.
Madam Chair, I for one don't agree with Mr. Nolan. I was saying that any individual who's not a candidate can protest the election. You have a time set period, you have a process to follow. We've been following that for how many years? Now you're gonna allow any member to protest the election when they're not even running for office? I don't agree with that. Take that into consideration. I'm one of the candidates.
Yes, thank you. Okay. We have a motion to accept Resolution 60-16,
Second?
seconded by Mr. Narcomi. All those in favor of accepting Resolution 60-16, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Resolution 60-16 is passed. Now we have Resolution 61-16. This is whereas the Comanche Committee approved an election ordinance on February 25, 2005, and was amended by Resolution 3210, approved April the 3rd, 2010, and was codified by the CBC on April the 3rd, 2010. And whereas the Comanche Business Committee has determined the following for the election board: up to 150 per meal for all election board meetings, up to 250 per meal for all general and runoff elections. Now therefore be it resolved that the amendment to resolution number 9713 is effective immediately. They get $100 now, and they're asking to have their meal stipend raised.
To 150.
Yes, but if it's a general and runoff, they want $250. I personally don't think we should do that. my
That's
opinion.
not per person,
No.
that's for all
12.
voting.
But they also get paid to be up here.
Paid, yeah.
So
Get paid,
you can run down there to Burger King.
yep.
Who submitted this?
The election board,
Oh, the election board? Oh.
yes. All of this is the election board.
Madam Chair, how much do they get paid to do the voting? Election board member?
They get as much as a CBC member on a monthly basis, $250 a month. And then special elections, it can go up to $800. Yes.
That's not the CBC, that's the election board.
That's not us, that's the election board.
Election board.
I think so too. Do we have a motion for Resolution 61-16? Resolution 61-16 dies for lack of a motion.
So it'll remain as is.
As is, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Let me go over here.
You have a question on the floor?
Yes,
I have a question. Say if we Would it go in the election ordinance if you put that all the candidates have to have a drug test? You know, or a meth test, drug and meth? Because, you know, to make sure we have candidates that aren't drug users or, you know, they aren't, or presently, you know, to make sure we have good people. So we really need that in our somewhere, the election ordinance somewhere.
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm. Let's see, resolution 61-16. I don't have a 61-16. Do you have it in your book?
Mr. Grilder? Did you hear his question? How, where would that fit in our
61-16.
program here?
Oh, we did that one already.
resolution
Okay,
or-
62-16.
Yeah,
Dang, mine are mixed up.
yeah, that's good. 62-16.
Yeah.
62-16.
We could amend that at another time or something.
We have to amend before the election. Okay.
No, it's already done. Do what,
I'm ready.
Mr. Griller, what?
It's section 304 about qualifications of business members.
That's under the election, or that's under the Constitution.
It's under the ordinance.
Ordinance?
Ordinance, all right.
Yeah, it cites the, you know, constitutional provisions,
Right.
and,
Which one is that under?
section 304. 304. Or the Secretary Treasurer, Tassaquah.
If it's a constitutional change, yes, it does.
Yeah, if the CBC wants to add additional requirements, they can amend the ordinance. So the
What section,
Constitution's
or
clear.
what section are you finding that in?
Section 304 of the ordinance.
Be for future, wouldn't it? Because since you already got the state candidates on
So, yeah.
Yeah, so basically, that's just reiterating the Constitution there.
Absolutely. The CBC wants to add additional, at some point, they can do that. That's up to the CBC.
To do that in the ordinance.
Correct.
you have new slate candidates. You never have no
Okay. Well, make a motion.
I'll make a motion that we have drug tests for all the candidates running for any office in the Comanche Nation, up to a hair follicle test if necessary.
I second.
Are we going to have to pay for y'all? Or we pay for it?
Does that violate anything, Mr. Grillner? Would we be violate?
Adding requirements into your
All right,
ordinance.
all right, good. All those in favor of
Wait,
amending?
would the candidate have to pay for it, or would the election, the the Comanche Nation, or?
As it's set up now under the tribes,
Well, up here for employees, the tribe pays for it, but you're talking about candidates running for office. That's different.
okay. It's up to you all.
That's what I say, so too. Because it can get expensive. Yeah.
See what Mr. Burgess.
Jimmy, how much is a drug test nowadays?
Let me get, Mr. Burgess, you had your hand up too. I'll get to you, Gabby.
I'll answer that question. The time I took a drug test when I was in office, it cost me $25. Not paid for it, it's on file down here. I'll take another one again, it doesn't bother me. I just want to make sure that if you make that, those who have medications that might have some kind of kick
they'll tell
Make sure
you,
that's in your ordinance.
right.
And then, if you're gonna say you're gonna prohibit somebody, or you wanna question their integrity, if you wanna get a financial record from them, as well as do they owe any money to the tribe or owe anything? If you're gonna do that, go all the way. Don't just stop at drugs, go all the way, because the integrity of the person sitting in those seats is more important to everybody than to the one individual who's trying to sit there.
Yes.
Good point, thank you. If you're gonna take it that far, go for it. Well, they shouldn't be afraid to take a drug test, because when I came up and assumed the duties of an interim chairman, I took a drug test.
Yeah.
I had nothing to hide.
And if you're on medication, bring that medication.
Bring it from the doctor.
And I did ask them about that. I said, no, I take blood pressure medicine and stuff, that's not good. And they said, no, that kind of stuff doesn't matter.
Yeah, that does.
Yeah,
Because
so,
we want people to represent our tribe.
Yeah.
That's gonna be in their right mind instead of.
well,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am, we understand.
And if they owe money,
So do you want to amend your,
Yeah, I'd like to amend my motion to include, if they owe the tribe money, that they shouldn't be able to run for office.
oh, yes, Mr. Pika. Sorry, I was looking over
There
here.
used to be,
Sorry.
a requirement in there that if you owe the tribe money, you couldn't run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From 2006 and 7, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, because I couldn't find it.
And also in the Constitution, you used to have to go by Robert's Rules of Order.
That's not
And
applicable
I don't know where
either.
that is.
No,
Because, to me, that's also important, because you have to have a means to run a good meeting. And that's one way to do it. But what happened to it? I don't know. There's
I
an
don't know
amendment.
either. There's a lot of
But on owing
resolutions.
the tribe
involved.
money, now, I don't know what happened to that. I asked the election board, asked everybody I could, and nobody could tell me what happened to it.
Can't
I'm
help.
sure I didn't dream it, because
No,
it
you
was
can't
there.
find something that isn't there anymore, though.
Okay.
Mr. Pickens, was that in the ordinance, or was it a
Yeah,
resolution?
It was a it was a resolution.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. It was a resolution, but I can't find it. Mr. No-Nine?
Back up, when I was on the CBC, it had to be either 78 or 79 that we adopted the rules book of order for that.
Roberts?
Robert's Rules of Order, rather, for our organization.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Burgess,
Yes,
do you need to add anything what Jonathan Foley's adding besides owing money and the drug test? Was there something else that you added that, will that
Yeah.
cover it?
Yeah, I was gonna say owing money too.
well, basically, then to be fair to that individual, if they can pay the money back within that filing timeframe, then let them pay it back. Who's gonna pay back $1,000 in 3 days? Only a few people can do that, but at the same time, give them a chance to pay it back if they're gonna run. And if they know they're gonna run, they can start working towards it, but they should not owe the tribe any money if they're gonna sit there.
Yeah.
At the same time, I think it was mentioned previously about being bonded. Now, I don't know if we have to put that in the Constitution or make an ordinance. Individuals sitting in those seats can be bonded and be bonded by the tribe. That should come out of that line item called administration.
Mr. Otterberry,
Yes.
are we not bonded under our new insurance policies?
Yes, every employee, everybody is bonded under our policy.
Yes, we
There's
have.
called key man's bonding or key man's insurance, your elected officials. That should be at a dollar amount, because as I understand it, you're gonna be dealing with tens of thousands of dollars, whereas your directors are gonna be dealing with thousands of dollars and are covered by that. There's a special insurance that our executive people should have over them, because one, they can be sued for something.
Yeah.
Two, they'd be libeled and slandered all the time, and that's not right when they're making decisions as a group, not the individual. So those things have to be considered, because ladies and gentlemen, we're not in the 18th century, 20th
Amen.
century anymore.
That's right.
We have to grow up here as an organization.
Thank you.
I don't
Ms.
think
Burgess?
I don't think there should be a time frame that they pay that money back. Somebody may have owed it for 2 or 3 years. They know when they run that they owe money. That's right. I think it's up to our election board to go and find that if they owe money while they're disqualified.
That's right, yes.
Mr. Burgess?
Yes.
You mentioned 3 days.
Well, I think that's, when you're nominated on Saturday, you have till 5 o'clock on Monday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
That's only
Tuesday.
3 actual days. And so for those individuals who, whether they're not working or they gotta leave the job or can't get off the job, something happens, and that's a tight time frame. But
So you're saying, okay, so you're saying that this resolution will begin on next year's?
No,
well, wait a minute, you're in the middle of an election right now.
Right.
You can't back it up. You're in the middle of your election right now, and you're gonna back it up.
You can't stop the process now.
You're on process, you can't stop it.
Yeah, but it'll go into effect.
It'll go into effect after this election,
After the election.
you know.
Jimmy, I got a question. You say every employee is bonded.
Right.
Seems to me like just the people that handle money ought to be bonded, not these maintenance workers out here cutting grass and the secretaries that are not handling money.
Well, every employee has the ability to steal from us, which means it's a loss of our assets, so they all should be bonded. The difference is, when you talk about individual bonding, is you have to pay up to certain amounts. So in other words, whoever you're wanting to bond, if you want to bond them for $1 million, that's going to cost you X amount of dollars, and then the higher you get, the more it costs. Right now, everybody is covered under our policy, and we have up to a $5 million amount that we can claim against somebody. So anytime somebody is like, you know, maybe has put their hands in the cash pot or whatever, and we can, through law enforcement, act on that, then our insurance will recoup that money for us. So as far as individual bonding, like Mike, what you're asking for, it really comes down to deciding how much do you want to bond them for? How much access to funds do they have? So, but currently our new policy covers everything within the tribe and all of our programs and properties and individuals.
Up to $5
ensure
million.
that if there is something that happens, we can claim it on our insurance and recoup that money.
Okay, that's good, thank you.
Of course, he takes over and charges on file.
Well, yeah, of course, obviously, if they're caught and we know that, then yes, there is a legal process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, appreciate it. Okay, did you make your motion, John?
Okay, let me make the motion that all candidates that win their election must face the drug test, up to a hair follicle test, and if they owe money, then they cannot run for office.
Is that it?
Yes.
I second.
Okay. Okay, motion has been made by Mr. Poway. I've got a motion on the floor, I have to deal with it. I have a motion on the floor, Mr. Poway has made that candidates running for office, oh, wait, I've got the attorney's opinion here.
Excuse me, Johnny. I was under the impression that Section 304 was being amended to add two sections, one with respect to taking a drug test for qualifications for candidacy, and the other one is if you owe the tribe funds. You're putting it when they take office. My question, and I thought that went to Mr. Burgess's office on owing the funds with respect to the $1,000 or whatever on a protest. But I thought there were two separate issues. I thought it was with respect to candidacy instead of being sworn in as a.
It should be candidacy. Yeah, if they run.
It's a qualification.
Okay, yes.
Under 304. That's you guys' decision.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
if
want
they
you to
run,
clarify
I think.
where you're at.
Okay, let me change it back to amend section 304 of the election board ordinances that any candidate
This one right here.
running for office will have to pass a drug test up to a hair follicle test,
Deal, not us.
No,
and
they fall
they
under
can't
us.
run if they owe the tribe money,
There you go.
Including?
including, and
You just want to
including,
say hair follicle
Yeah,
hair
hair
follicle
follicle.
hair follicle drug test.
yes,
All right, let's get them.
a hair follicle drug test.
Okay, motion has been made by Mr. Poway for all candidates that are running for office to submit to a drug test, including or up to, including a hair follicle test.
Including a hair follicle test, yes.
And if you owe money to the tribe, you will not be allowed to run for office. Is that correct?
Yes.
And is this to start in 2017?
I don't know. Good question.
The next election.
next election,
Because they can't,
The next election.
Too late
upcoming
now.
elections.
So it's gonna challenge. It's gonna be challenged.
They're gonna
Hey,
challenge it.
something will challenge.
Challenge.
That's gonna satisfy you again.
Okay, motion has been made by Mr. Poway,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Narcomi. All those in favor of the motion that was made by Mr. Poway for drug testing for candidates up to hair follicle, and any candidate owing money to the tribe is ineligible to run for office. Vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Same sign? Motion passes.
I'm abstaining.
Got one abstention. Motion still passes to go in the ordinance under Section 304, under qualifications for business committee members. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Got it.
the next election.
That will, next year, ma'am.
The next
Mhm,
election,
Yeah,
right?
we can't stop what's going on now.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I thought it was gonna start, that was going to be why I'm abstaining, is I thought we
No,
were going to
next
start.
election.
Next, oh, well, then I'm going to go, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it won't be next
Mr.
year, it'll be the next election.
Mr. Tashaquah rescinds his abstention and votes yes.
Well, I thought it was going to be in this year, that's what I was stating for, but if it's going to start next year, I'm going to vote yes for it.
What are you looking complexed about? Perplexed?
Is it, are the candidates determined right now? Yes. Okay, so they're all determined.
Yes, yes, they're already on the ballots. There's nothing we can do about right now.
Okay, well then,
It'll have to go into effect next time there's a,
What
that
about if they,
clarifies what you were saying, Jerry.
yes.
What if there's a runoff? Does it cover the runoff?
It will cover the runoff. This is already in process. We can't back up. That's what everybody has said. Even Mr. Burgess said that. We're in the middle of an election. We can't roll backwards. This will have to be applied to the new elections.
They'll have to do the drug test before,
Yeah.
That's a CBC decision.
Okay.
we voted on it already.
Yeah. All right. And you rescinded your abstention. Okay, he rescinded his abstention. Did you get that? He
voted yes.
Okay, he voted yes. All right. Motion carries to amend the ordinance to include the items that were mentioned and to have an F and G portion in the ordinance under Section 304, qualifications of business committee members.
So the ones that are running for chairman, we need to be very diligent about who we vote for, because some of them are owing money. We know it, so let's make an educated vote into their background. And that's all we can do for now, I guess, because I thought we were gonna start now and get rid of them.
And ma'am, does this also include, now, we all know there's people that's worked for the tribe that has taken money, mismanaged money. Now, does this include them, and the tribe didn't file charges on them for money that they stole or whatever? So does that include them? I mean, if they stole from the tribe, or will they still be able to run?
There's no charges. I mean, you gotta have
There's a lot
charges.
of people out there that work for the tribe, that stole money from the tribe in different departments. The
There's no
tribe didn't bring
charges.
any charges on them.
Well, we
And
can't
they
do
have
nothing about that. I mean, there has to be charges
So
filed,
they're welcome to
unfortunately.
come back in and steal some more.
Yeah.
That's the problem we got today.
Yes, it is.
Even with the audit that is going
I
on.
don't know. Maybe a different story. Have to wait and see. Okay, Resolution 62-16. This is in reference to membership of the Comanche Tribe. Whereas the list includes the names of applicants who have been verified as eligible pursuant to Article 3, Section 1C, membership of the Constitution of the Comanche Nation, which states all descendants of allottees eligible for membership under the provision of Section 1A of the article having 1/8 or more degree of Comanche Indian blood. Now therefore it be resolved that the Comanche Business Committee accepts the verification of eligibility for applicants as shown on List 1033 by the Comanche Nation Enrollment Office. Did you count them? Did you count them?
No.
I thought you counted them. Do you have a motion to accept this enrollment list?
I make a motion to approve Resolution 6216.
Motion has been made to accept Resolution 62-16 by Mr. Mithalo. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second has been made by Mr. Poway to accept Resolution 62-16. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries to accept Resolution 62-16. We have 24 new Comanche tribal members. Our enrollment is growing and growing and growing, guys. We had 40 on there last month. Now we're adding about 24 more on.
26.
26, I'm sorry, I miscounted, 26. Well, there's 2 that are not going to be on there. Yes?
Are these new babies, or are these people that are switching their enrollment?
No, they're not all new babies.
Uh-huh.
No.
They're,
You got one on here that was born in 1981. Never enrolled in any other tribe.
Right. So, the new members are Ezrael Adolph, Alexis Becerra, Alexander Becerra, Ava Becerra, Anu Bean, Mallory Castro, Miguel Castro II, Serena Galindo, Carissa Howard, Brooklyn Jester, Ella Lemons, Blakely Mitchell, Lilith Monassi, Josiah Pattyacre, Royce Pattyacre, Michael Roca, Rose Sauer, Manelo Sanchez, Kenai Sullivan, Lauren Taylor, Aria Valdez, Holden Valdez, Cade Webster, Kaylin Webster, Honey Webster, and Elias Yunman. New Comanche tribal members.
We have a question.
Yes.
Our nephew was born on, about 2 months ago. Our niece brought the paperwork in for him to be put on this enrollment, and we didn't hear you call his name. Gabriel,
You'll have to contact enrollment and take it up with them. If they're not on here, I don't know why.
who should have been on.
You'll have to
This
check
month.
with enrollment.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution 63-16. This deals with enrollment also. Whereas the individual listed on attached list 1034 is aware that she is given up all rights she may have had as a member of the Comanche Nation, including current and future per capita distributions as a member of the Comanche Nation. Now therefore be it resolved that the individual listed on the attached list number 1034 will be removed from the Comanche Nation membership roll because of her desire to do so immediately. Do you have a motion to accept Resolution 63-16?
I'll make a motion to accept resolution number 06316.
Have a second?
I second.
Motion has been made by Mr. Narcomi to accept Resolution 63-16, seconded by Mr. Mithalo. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes to accept Resolution 63-16.
Question on the floor.
Yes?
I have a question on the enrollment audit that was passed to do an enrollment audit. I don't know if it was October or November, but, I don't know if we got bids on the enrollment audit to be done. But I remember after that time, then we had all kinds of trouble. We didn't have a quorum. And I sure wish we did, because we would have had that enrollment audit completed, and we would have took off a lot of people. And I think if it's a kind of comprehensive audit, we ought to go back to whenever our roll started till today. You know, that way we could check all the, see if there's any illegal enrollments, because I heard there was some, well, a Kiowa person, an elder, that was glad they was on the road, but I don't know if that person's illegal or not. That's just a rumor, but, you know, I don't, that's secondhand or whatever, but there may be other, you know, there may be quite a few. So we need to check it out.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Narcomi. Resolution number 064-16, whereas the Comanche Constitution establishes the Comanche Business Committee as the duly elected official body designated to conduct business for and on behalf of the Comanche Nation, and whereas the office of the special trustees requires signatures on investment accounts. Now therefore be it resolved that the Comanche Business Committee hereby designates the following authorized signatures: Susan Cothran, Jerry Tashaqua, Jonathan Poway, Harry Mithalo, Clyde Narcomi. And what this pertains to is that letter, if you turn over to the second page, this is just in reference to our IIM account in Anadarko. They have to have an official resolution in order for us to be able to get information about our IIM.
Susan, when was this due?
No, I didn't even look. We just got it, Jerry,
Right,
within the,
right.
yeah, within the last,
So we're in
we're in
okay.
compliance. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mhm.
We're
Yes.
just updating our compliance.
Yeah, we just got it within the last week or two.
Okay, thank you.
I thought there was a general council resolution to exclude Jerry from any kind of signatory of authority.
Right.
That was on the Liberty account, not on other accounts.
Well, this is just to be able to garner information. They have to have all the CBC on that. It's not excluding anyone or adding extras or taking sides or anything like that. It's just for us to be on there in order to be able to get information about our IIM account. As it is now, no one's on there, so this is what's going to take care of that issue.
Will the new chairman and the other,
They can be added
Committee
on,
people be
yes.
added
This
later?
is just to be,
Yeah.
because we're not in compliance now.
Yeah.
We need to be. That's what this is for.
So we're out of compliance.
It's not necessarily out of compliance. It's just we got to get signatures on there. There's not any current ones. They're all old.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 06416.
Motion has been made to accept resolution 64-16.
I second it.
Motion has been made by Mr. Narcomi, seconded by Mr. Mithalo. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries to accept resolution 64-16. And before you guys leave, please sign this original right here so it can be sent into the
Yours is
Bureau.
that one there?
Right here. Mhm. Thank you. Okay, this is resolution 65-16. Whereas the Comanche Business Committee sees the critical need for quality housing for Comanche tribal members, and this can be accomplished through the Comanche Nation designated tribal housing entity, the Comanche Nation Housing Authority pursuant to Native American Housing Assistance and Self-Determination Act of 1996. And whereas the Comanche Business Committee desires to have an application for the Department of Housing and Urban Development HUD Indian Community Development Block Grant. ICDBG for fiscal year 2016, prepared and submitted on behalf of the Comanche Nation for housing activities. And whereas the Comanche Business Committee does recognize the Comanche Nation Housing Authority has the administrative capacity to prepare, submit, administer, and manage the Indian Community Block Grant. Now therefore be it resolved that the Comanche Business Committee does hereby approve for the submission of a grant application for the Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, Indian Community Development Block Grant for fiscal year 2016 by the Comanche Nation Housing Authority. This is what Nora asked us to do because they're ready to submit the grant. They just needed our final approval.
I'll
and
make a motion
resolution.
to approve O 6516.
I'll second it.
A motion has been made by Mr. Narcomi, seconded by Mr. Tashaqua to accept Resolution 65-16. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries to accept Resolution 65-16.
On that grant,
Yes.
specifically for, what are they doing?
To try to get extra money for housing, for HUD,
For
from
what?
HUD.
What type of housing?
I'm not exactly
A
sure. Does it-
building,
No, it's not a
shelter,
building, it's to get more assistance to help to repair some of the houses that are already in place, yes, to do service work.
It seems to me if someone's submitting a grant, they need to come here and let us know a little bit more about it. That way we don't have any questions.
Okay. I'll mention that to Ms. Sobo.
Yeah, because that grant that they got money for on Wade East, for the nursing home, it's just sitting there, that land is sitting there with some supplies from some company on it. And that nursing home, whatever they got in Dogu, the city of Lawton was out there helping them dig shovels. They honored that land and then they did nothing with it. It's just sitting there. And they used a grant to get that land.
Are you speaking about the land north of it?
Go ahead, executive session. I'll ask her.
It's on east,
45th?
yeah, way out there on East 45th Street. It's almost in the country, it's like by that grocery store.
By Dollar General.
Yeah.
Okay. Still, we'll go executive session.
Yeah, I know. Okay. At this time, oh,
6616 for a youth music trip funding.
we're going to do that in executive session.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we will go into executive session.
Could we take a 10-minute break?
Yes. We'll take a 10-minute break. There wasn't anything under there, so, but we can come back, don't panic, I'll come back. Updates. Well, there was an ad, there was a write-up in the paper, last month's paper about it. Yes, it came from my desk. Yeah, it was in there.
Recently though, within the last 30 days, is there anything?
Still garnering information. It's a, yes, sir. It's a process. It's not gonna happen overnight.
Is there a chance to audit and something?
This audit, I did, they're very, very expensive, Gene.
Oh, yeah.
Very expensive.
But that's neat.
We would have to, see about what we could do to
Would
allocate.
have to take that to general council to do any, besides what the resolution said at the last general council meeting. They would have to bring back, say we wanted to audit the gaming or any other entities of our, we'd have to, we couldn't do that till general council meeting.
We're recessed.
I want to expand the forensic audit.
Hang on, we'll be back.
Put in the budget, 583,000.
We haven't gotten it yet.
Include gaming.